Happy 4th of July to all of you. Do I have a special one for you today? What is up, Fin fans? I got, should be, hopefully will be, Hall of Famer, Richmond Webb on the channel today. I sat down, talked to him. We talked about Tua a little bit, just a little bit, because it's getting redundant, the constant Tua contract stuff. But hey, it's that time of the year. I did ask him a ton about the offensive line, being that he is, again, a should-be Hall of Fame offensive lineman. I asked him about the 18 game schedule, and then we talked about some other things. It was a great conversation with Richmond Webb. Loved every minute of talking with him. Yeah. But again, happy 4th of July to everybody. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're lighting fireworks, please be careful. Just please be careful. Also, stop lighting them after 10 o'clock. I'll give you till 10:30. My dog flips out. I'm trying to put my daughter to sleep, and all I hear is fireworks like I'm in the middle of World War II. Please, just stop after a decent time. I know people in the comments are going to be like, shut up, dog. You know, when it's like midnight and you're still lighting fireworks, nobody likes you. Hey, it's the truth. But without me rambling on anymore, let's get to chatting with Richmond Webb. Again, love this man. Great conversation. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. But like usual, stay classy. Events up. Got the man, the myth, the legend. I got Richmond Webb on the channel. This is your 3rd time on the channel, and I'm very honored that you've been on as much as you have.
Has it been that many times? I might be wearing out my welcome.
Never. Man, if I could have you on as much as possible, you know I would. How you doing, Richmond?
I'm doing good. It's hot here in Texas, but man, I'm good. Getting ready for the 4th of July. Just gonna kick back and take it easy, but man, no complaints. All is well.
I can feel. I think it was last week we had a heat wave in Jersey, so I could just imagine what you're dealing with in Texas right now.
Yeah, I was looking at the news this morning. It's like I'm gonna say forest fires in California, hot from Arizona, Nevada, and then I think Jamaica possibly might get hit today with the hurricane, and it's all kind of stuff going on out there. So crazy. I can deal with a little heat based on what I saw in the news this morning. This is nothing, so I'm not complaining at all.
Seriously. Well, we're going to talk football.
I might be a little something about that. Yeah, we'll give it our best shot.
Let's get the elephant out of the room. I talked to Alf about this on Monday, and I'm obviously can get more of a player perspective from you about Tua Tagovailoa, because you were in contract negotiations with the Dolphins at some point. Can you give us a little bit of an insight on, you know, kind of what's going on right now between Tua and the team, like kind of how that process works?
You know, every contract is different, Dougley, and I think the thing that people got to understand and the player got to understand, I think what frustrates some guys is you'll see them come in and like Jalen just got his deal done and kind of like, boom, just went through there. And now it's Tua's turn. And not that they don't value Tua any less than Jalen, but a lot of times the players sometimes you might say, well, why'd they go ahead and just take care of him? And now they dragging me through the deal, you know, this and that. And then I've even seen stuff where Tyreek is saying, you know, hey, I want to get my deal done again. So, like I said, I think it's going to get done. I think the main thing is as long as Tua's representation and the Dolphins, everything, you know, everybody's bargaining for the best deal, but I think it'll get done. And I think probably closer to maybe training camp, because it just seemed I hadn't heard much. So I'm thinking it's just kind of stalemate, people just sitting on it and say, well, we're not going to move until they move it in. I think the Dolphins will probably give a move and they say, okay, now let's go ahead and try to close this up. Because one thing I do know is it is important to have your guys in camp as far as, because you want to get the rhythm, the sync, and the way how explosive our offense is, man. It's just, he's that vital piece. I mean, we need the other guys, but it all kind of starts right there with him. So I'm thinking it's going to get done. This is kind of a dead space and this and that. And now nothing much to talk about. The papers and everything. It's two of this every day. So tell the fans, just calm down. We got our quarterback. They're gonna take care of it. It's just that's it. That's my take on it. But I think it'll get done. But just as long as nobody takes it personal, that's the main thing. Because sometimes you can get frustrated or feel that the team doesn't value you as much. But once you get it done, it always seems like a little bit better and things kind of smooth out.
Yeah. Once it's over, you're like, what was the big deal about? And you just move on. Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to training camp. Training camp starts the end of this month. You obviously have been to a lot of different training camps, and it was much different back in your day. I'm pretty sure you would have loved to have been to these training camps, not having to do 2-a-days.
I don't know if I could have made it through these. Are too rough now, man. I thought I had it bad. These guys, I don't know if I could have made it through these. My goodness. Woo.
Well, the McDaniel tends to like to take care of his players, so I think you would have been fine. I think you would have got some days.
You think I'd have made it
through? What's it like? What, like, for the rookies and even for like the vets that are coming back? What's it like that first day back? You guys attend camp and then kind of starts a few days later. What's it like? That first day back.
First day back is always kind of. It's good because now okay, it's time to get to work. So the majority of the guys stay and work out at the facility. So you've seen most of them, but it's always a few people that straggle in or a couple people they may have signed. So now everybody kind of comes together. So that's a good thing. And then the good thing is everybody is fresh that first day. So you go out, and even though you got to fine tune some things, the physicality, you hadn't hit anybody in a while. So you kind of look forward to doing that. And then after like a day or two of that, it's like your body wakes up and say, oh, you hadn't put these pads on in like 6 months. Hello, here I am again. And now you're waiting in line for the ice tub or this and that. And, you're trying to take care of your body. But it's crazy, man. But it's something you love and you keep doing it. And you never ask yourself why. But you be like, man, why am I putting myself through this? But it's a childhood dream, and it's a game you wanted to play, and this and that, and then like you say, everybody else is doing it, so I might as well keep doing it too.
That's very true, and especially for the guys that are like, because you're from Texas, so kind of going from Texas to Miami, it's a different type of heat. But like you got like the guys from like Minnesota and Colorado, when they walk out on that field in August and July, it's no joke.
It is no joke at all. And like you said, if you're from a climate, especially up north, like you say, Michigan, Ohio, or further up north, and you come down here and some of those guys are struggling to have a tan, that heat will break them down a bit. I think the one thing I can say was our trainers, they did a good job because we would weigh in before practice. We would weigh in right after that practice. And depending on how much weight you lost, some guys will have to get an IV between practices because if you lose too much weight, there's no way you can drink enough water to put it back on before. Guys can drop 13, 15 pounds in a practice, and it's just you can't put that much water. So you get dressed, take a shower, and you walk back in there and you see 5 or 6 guys with the little stem hanging from them. They sitting there in the IVs, and I'm like, man, it's just that the good thing, they take care of it. I can remember when I played in high school, it was almost, don't drink too much water because that'll make you cramp up. And then I got to college and it was like, drink. And I was like, oh, man. So it was like, but it's just when you don't know, you just do what you think you know. And, I don't think it was any bad will or intentions, but that was just old school coaching that, back in high school. But things evolve and, we change and get better. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's very, very true. I'm going down for the first time on the 15th of August, and
nice.
I'm New Jersey born and raised, so you might look up in the stands and there's just a puddle in the seat. Just
so whoa. So how did you become a Dolphin fan? You from Jersey.
Born and raised. I actually became a Dolphin fan when you started playing in like the early 90s. I was born 87. My dad, Dolphins fan since 72, and then my mom's side of the family wanted me to be a Giants fan, and my dad was like, do whatever you want. But I just watched his passion. I watched you. I watched Marino. I was like, yeah, I'm a Dolphins fan. And now up in
And plus,
Jersey.
it helped that your dad was a Dolphin fan. You know, if that they'd have snatched you up. But yeah, dad protected you. A good man. If he ever need anything, you tell him I'm on speed dial. Tell him just call. That's it.
I think it was a lot of him not caring too. Like my mom's side of the family was like Giants, 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 and he was like, do whatever you want. But then he's like rooting for you guys, and I'm like, that's more fun. That's more fun than the other way around. Talking about offensive line, obviously you're an expert somewhat in the offensive line. Butch Berry, the offensive line coach, I think he did a fantastic job last year, especially with the amount of players we had going in and out. How much of it, especially with like Austin Jackson and how he took that next step, how much of it is the players on their own, and how much of it is the coaching also implementing some things with the players?
It's definitely, you know, you got to have the right mindset as a player to want to achieve and want to do better. And I tell people this about Austin Jackson. I even thought the previous year, I thought he was on that trajectory to become that type of guy. He just got hurt, and injury sometimes can stunt or slow your process in that. So he was dealing with that, I think, ankle injury or whatever, high ankle sprain, which is very tough to come back from. But most people don't really understand that. But for him to, you know, have those guys and the amount of guys we rotated in and out, I think Butch Berry is a great coach. I think he has a great relationship with the guys that play for him, and he knows how to get them to understand what they need to do in order to be successful. So coaching is a huge part, and I think from what I've heard, I think we did a poll last year, but the Dolphins, just the energy in the building and the atmosphere is a great place to work. If you love coming to work, you know, that's good. But if it's just a negative place, this and that, it's like, man, you just biding your time, watching your clock and trying to get in and out. And you try to do the best you can, but it's harder to be bought into a situation like that, because it's just that negative energy, it'll drain you. So I think all those are important factors, but I think he's one of the best line coaches in the NFL to be able to achieve what he did with so many backups, because a lot of people don't understand is typically there's a pretty good drop off if you're not a starter. You know, being a backup, a lot of times you're just a guy, you know, you're making a decent salary, but it's the reason you're backup and that guy's a starter. And the injuries we had and the way they came in and stepped up several times at several different positions, man, this guy did a tremendous job at coaching the offensive line.
Yeah, and like you said, it was, I think we had like 13 different rotations on the offensive line, and it was, you know, they were formidable. You know, we won a bunch of games and got a lot of help. You were at the draft. You got to call the second round pick, which was Patrick Paul. What's your thoughts of Patrick Paul? He's a huge human being.
Yeah, I haven't met him, but I look forward to meeting him. But yeah, he's like 6'8", 320. And, you know, they gave me the card, and then I was like, okay, well, at least we're getting a lineman, cool. I did Michael Dieter a few years back when we drafted him. I said, okay, every time I come up, we get a lineman, cool. So did that, and then, you know, they start showing his highlights, and I was like, I said, oh, yeah, he's a guy that, you know, even though Teron came back for another year, if he can study up under him, because he's got really good feet. He's got the frame. He's got the long arms, good body control. Just he's got it. So being able to, you know, possibly study up under a guy like him, and he may get some opportunities, because typically it's a game or two that Teron possibly might miss just to get his feet wet, this and that. And but to be able to learn and just pick Teron's brain and Austin Jackson, and then have a coach like Butch Berry, and we're in good hands. So I think that's a long-term feel. Like, you got Jackson at the right and put him at the left, and as long as they stay healthy, man, you got your two bookend tackle set, and that will be a great thing for the Dolphins.
Yeah, well, you know, few less pieces that we need to address come the future. One last offensive line question. You're probably like sick and tired of offensive line questions.
I want some receivers, some defensive back. I want a skill position. That's it.
Liam Mikenberg, he's played everywhere. You predominantly stayed at tackle, but like I want to see Liam have the same trajectory as Austin Jackson. What's your thoughts on Liam, being that, you know, he's kind of our backup center, he's fighting for the right guard position, maybe even the left guard position. What's your thought? Do you think he can take that next step that Austin Jackson did?
I think he can. I think he was a pretty good player in college. I think that's the thing with when you're not the starter and you're backup, you almost got to kind of be able to swing multiple ways in the event that this happens, that happens. I just had to work on the left side, this and that. And when I went to the right side, I remember it was we were rotating the Pro Bowl, and when I'd have to go to the right side, I remember one time I was over there playing and Reggie White was over there. And the good thing, it was first half, because typically the first half we kind of get through it, and then the second half they're like, okay, now we're playing for the money, this and that. And I was like, man, don't let this guy, he used to get guys coming up the field and then just hump them with that arm. I was like, do not let him do that to me over here. I'm like, man, I did not feel comfortable at all. I was like, oh my goodness, but I made it through. But yeah, I think if he could get at one of the guard positions, I think that probably suits him better. He plays the center position, but at times he still kind of struggles with the I call them the gun snaps, when you're not up on the center. Sometimes he gets them right most of the time, but every now and then this one is go, woo. But I think if he could get at one of those guard positions and just really focus on that, I think he could come into his own and he'll be a good player for us as well.
I remember, I don't remember what offensive lineman was talking about. I think it was a Dolphin, and they asked him about going from left to right. And he said, it's like wiping your butt with your right hand your whole life and then trying to use your left. It's that difficult, right?
It is that difficult. I'll tell you a story. I was in Cincinnati my second year, and what happened was the right tackle went down, and we were in the game. And so we had drafted Levi Jones. I think he went to Arizona State. He was left tackle, but he was the first round pick, but he was backing me up. He runs in the huddle. Are you listening to me? He runs in the huddle. He said, Coach said, go to right. I said, what? I said, oh no. I went to right, man. And I was over there 3 or 4 plays and ended up tearing my pec. And I was just like, that was it. So it was just, I felt so awkward over there. And that's a great way, the way the guy said, if you've been wiping right and you got to go left, it's just like, hey, you better have something to hose on, some wet naps or something to get the rest of that residue, because you're gonna leave something back there, brother. That's all I can tell you. But it's like, man, it's like
I cannot imagine. It's hilarious. So let's talk receiver. I feel like you could have been a pretty good receiver in your day.
Now you know I'm just joking, because back then they used to hit you whether you caught the ball or not, and I'm like, I can't get down fast enough. Even when I'm get down, I'm still up. I was like, nah. You don't think you could have done a Robert Hunt versus the Ravens? When I used to come out, Coach Mel Phillips was the defensive back coach for a long time for the Dolphins. And I used to come out sometime, and the defensive backs would be doing their little backpedaling drills, and I'd jump in their drill and do some stuff, and they would just laugh. And they used to call me big safety, but I was like, man, ain't no way I want no part of this. But man, that's why I said I had good teammates. We just had a good group. We could kind of joke and get on down to my where I was supposed to be. But yeah, just little stuff like that I kind of reflect back. But that receiver, no, sir.
What's your thoughts on the addition of Odell now? Like, we have a pretty ridiculous wide receiving core.
It's a good thing to have. I think as long as everybody's attitude is right, you only got so many balls to spread around. But I think the good thing is you can't just say it's Waddle and Tyreek now. Now you add him in there as a dimension, and then I think we signed that tight end as well.
John New, yeah.
It's just, man, it could just be scary. And then you got Moses and you got Achane coming out the back. It's like, it's just speed everywhere. So it's almost like, do I go to a 47 package or do I try to do base defense? It seems like it's always a mismatch no matter what you choose to decide to try to defend this offense. And I think that's the challenging thing that's going to be for defense coordinators that have to face us. But that's a good thing for them. You know, hey, I want to see what they can do, but I think they're going to come up short most of the time. But yeah, definitely looking for him because, like you said, Odell is a guy that can play in the slot and he can play outside. It's so many interchangeable parts that just like, man, it could be really tough on the defense.
Yeah. Last question I got for you. It's rumored, and it's probably going to happen because that's just how the NFL works. 18 game schedule.
Yeah.
As a player, what is your thoughts on the NFL possibly going to an 18 game schedule?
Yeah, I didn't like when they went to a 17. To be honest, it's just that's a long season, and you know the players voted on it. You know, maybe they look at it that they, you know, they don't do 2 days and stuff no more and this and that. But it's just, you know, most of the preseason games typically we have 4, but the first 2 you might get a quarter and a half at most. And so you weren't playing a full game, but if you get 18 games, you playing 18 games unless you're injured and you can't play. And the way these guys train, and I think they're in better shape than we were, you know, back then. I just do, and I think they're protected a little bit more, but it's probably a good reason they are because they just, you know, more physically, their bodies is in shape and stuff like that, so they could really do some damage. But there's just a lot of wear and tear, you know, that long in the season. Then you got the playoffs and that. But you're right. I think they're gonna add it. I think they're gonna add another game. The owners are gonna push for it, and it's more money, more revenue. So yeah, they're gonna do it. They say we paying y'all this money, y'all might as well go and do it. So it's just the elephant in the room, and it's gonna get addressed. So yeah.
Yeah, supposedly the rumor is 2 preseason games instead of 3, 2 bye weeks, and then the way it would fall is that the Super Bowl would be on President's Day weekend, so you get that Monday off. So it's like it's all about money with them.
It's all about money, and like you said, a lot of people they don't. I don't think most fans value the preseason games because you really don't show much.
No,
you just do enough to show your base stuff to get through the games, try to get you guys healthy and get ready for the regular season. So he said, well, if y'all ain't gonna really do it, let's do it where the fans can get, you know, if they're paying for it, they might as well get more for it. So they're gonna put a spin on it to make them think, oh yeah, this is what we should do. So
yeah, preseason's more for like me who has a channel and I'm like, football.
but you know what? The other thing too, it limits the opportunities for guys that might be on the bubble.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Maybe might make a team, and I'm like, how did those guys develop, or how do you get enough film to show somebody that even if this team don't pick you up, it's good and bad behind it. But I remember a lot of guys made the team via special teams or playing in the second half of games during preseason to say, okay, yeah, he's gonna make the club, but with 2, it's just you only get so many opportunities, so it's going to be tough for him.
And then they dropped it. It used to be, it was like you go from 90 to 80, 80 to 70, 70 to 53. Now it's 90 to 53. So it's like it makes it even harder for these guys on the bubble, even trying to make special teams to make the team. You know, you got 2 preseason games and there's 1 big cut.
Yeah, that's like a ghost town, bro. Like you say, you used to kind of gradually go down, but yeah, from 90 to 53, yeah, that's. Hey, where's everybody at? Like, am I in the right place? You know, like, please don't come. I look like y'all got everybody. Don't come talk to me. You know?
Right? You get that phone call when you're out at a barbecue. You're like, oh no. Oh man, Richmond, thank you so much for stopping by. You got anything you want to shout out?
Man, I'm just waiting on the season. I appreciate it. I always have a good time when I'm on the show. I appreciate you. You know, you one of the more positive guys, and I think we just need more of that. And I think we're making a turn on Twitter. Most of the time we win, everybody's good, but every now and then we lose a game late in the season. But them people was coming. I was trying to keep them calm, but I said, man, they ain't trying to hear it today. But I'm gonna just keep working with them. They don't ride out too much on me, but yeah, some of them, they go back and forth with each other, and I'll be like, bro.
Yeah, no. Yeah, if anyone ever comes after you, tag me, and I got your back.
No, I can handle it. It's like water off a duck's back. I don't even take it. We good, bro. I know you're upset. I know why you're upset. So we'll be all right Monday. Let's just get through this, and we're going to be all right. So
Exactly. But hopefully future Hall of Famer Richmond Webb.
Appreciate that.
You got to get in there, man. I will talk to you soon. We will have you on the channel again, and I appreciate you stopping by.
Hey, appreciate you having me on. You have a good day, sir.
You too.